But welcome everybody. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button.
I remember in middle school when you felt self-conscious if you were the last one to go through puberty. That really went topsy-turvy, didn't it?
Sometimes the house barrage, it's too much explaining yourself and it's too apologetic.
Be sure to hit the notifications bell.
I actually do believe Israel won't just bomb countless civilians.
Be sure to tweet this out. Be sure to put this up on your Facebook.
You have to be kind to people. Be kind to the guys in this mess in the first place.
Put this up on your Reddit.
Chile is a country.
Be sure to cut and paste, a link to this to go into your favorite Facebook chat group.
It's good to see so many normal people in here.
Now, spanking isn't just my deep, dark personal secret. It's America's deep, dark secret.
I've never seen it explained so simply anywhere.
Put this on WhatsApp. Put this on Telegram. Put this on your favorite messenger app.
Hello and welcome to the Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel. I'm your host, an Untitled Anarchist Seagull called Elise. And, well, yesterday we discovered something I did not know existed. Gay incels. Like, I didn't think that was a thing, but then we watched the normal gays reacting, and that is a thing. Wow, that was really something. I don't know if you all saw the latest Tim Pool crash out where he really apparently does not like being referred to as a bootlicker, despite the fact that he is one. Or perhaps because of the fact that he is one, actually. And he's like, "Don't call me a bootlicker, I'm the boot!" And it's like, dude, you do realize that that is actually the less dignified option, right? Like, a bootlicker is still a person who has made a decision to suck up to powerful figures. A boot is literally just an inanimate object that absorbs fucking sweat and stank and athlete's foot and toe jam, and then gets thrown out the minute that the fucking stitching wears out. Like, that is, he's literally describing himself as as just like a fucking tool, which actually, I mean, he is kind of a tool, let's be fair. He is a tool. How's everybody doing, chat? It's like, I pay the expenses of ICE. Well, wow, you pay taxes, Tim. That's so exciting. I mean, honestly, it's also given its Tim Pool citation needed, I guess. But, like, Alex Preddy probably did too. Like, we all do. That doesn't mean that ICE will take orders from us. That doesn't mean we have any say in their hiring. But, okay, so where shall we go? Let's see, what have we got? Well, I think we might, let's see, have a look at Breaking Bad star calls for revolution. Leftists are melting down! It's like, Tim, I don't know how to break it to you, buddy. But leftists are, like, always calling for a revolution. That's not melting down. That's kind of a fundamental part of our belief system. That a revolution is going to be the only way to sort this shit out. But okay, let's see.
From Fox News. Breaking Bad star calls for revolution after federal agent shooting in Minneapolis. Actor Gian...
I mean, that is actually managed, that headline manages to be a more dishonest headline, more misleading even than, like, that officer-involved shooting bullshit. Federal agent shooting sounds like federal agents got shot, as opposed to federal agents shooting people.
Carlo Esposito tells Variety that very rich old white men are exerting their power to suppress our own people after weekend shooting. I want to add to this that
I mean,
Molly
okay, not wrong.
Ringwald said that the people who supported ICE will be treated as traitors and collaborators, just like in World War II. And if you don't know...
I mean, that is aspirational, yes. I mean, people who are supporting this, who are like bootlicking like Tim, because Tim's a bootlicker. I'm going to just keep saying that now, because it turns out he really hates... I wondered for a while what actually really gets to him. He does not like being called a bootlicker. He freaks out about it. So I'm going to call him a bootlicker.
What that means, it means you're going to be executed. I'm not trying to be cute. I'm not trying to exaggerate. Look it up.
I mean, that's what happened to some of them. I mean, a lot of them ended up working at NASA, actually. A lot of them ended up in charge of the West German government. But, okay, so he's saying... So, somebody said that people who support these goon squads ought to be treated as collaborators. Okay. So, obviously that means that's definitely about to happen. Clearly, that's what that means. So, obviously, we need to treat this as a real thing that is happening right now.
In France, after the war, they went around hunting down people that collaborated and executed them. Not everybody, but I think it was around 7,000 people.
Actually, I believe it was around 20,000, actually.
Were executed. Many others fled. So when the Nazis came in, if you were a politician or a business owner and you were giving them food, they remembered you.
Well, no, I mean, that was not actually all it took, to be clear. Because the thing is, if you had like a business and you actually like had a policy of refusing to sell to the Nazis, they would just shoot you. And aside from that, you know, there were businesses that operated, essentially, they specifically served Nazis in order to gain intel. Like, a lot of sex workers in France were key to informing the Allies when German submarines were going to be arriving and departing and where they were headed. So, no, I mean, that's not exactly how it works, but he seems really appalled by the idea that, you know, people who support the Nazis occupying their country would face consequences.
And that's what she's threatening you with. Mass executions.
Wait, who is?
Everybody around hunting, look it up. I'm not, just like in World War II, around people after weekend shooting. I want to add to this that Molly Ringwald.
Wow, Molly Ringwald. I haven't heard that name before in a long time. I mean, are there any other, like, Breakfast Club alums who have based opinions on this?
Said that the people who supported ICE will be treated as traitors and collaborators, just like in World War II. And if you don't know what that means...
Like, and obviously, if there's anyone who gets to decide that, it's Molly Ringwald. Of course, if Molly Ringwald decides that you're a traitor or a collaborator, you can, of course, appeal it to Ali Sheedy. Like, I mean, he's talking about this like this is a thing that's about to happen. I mean, obviously... I mean, that accountability would be nice, but nobody's serious, and necessary. But does anyone seriously think that's going to happen just because the election turns out one way or another? It hasn't worked that way yet.
It means you're going to be executed. I'm not trying to be cute. I'm not trying to exaggerate. Look it up.
I mean, he's not trying to exaggerate. If Molly Ringwald says you should be treated like a collaborator, motherfucker, you are gone. Right, man. I just heard the Ingwald. I wasn't really listening, and I thought Glenn Greenwald or something. I'd assumed it was something like that because I was not expecting to be hearing about Molly Ringwald, who I haven't heard about since like fucking Say Anything came out practically. Which I don't even know if she was in, now that I think of it. I was just going for a movie for the
France, after the war, they went around hunting. I think it was around if you were a politician or a business owner and you were giving them fictions. It's not a joke. Let me play this clip. You can hear what the guy said for yourself, and then, yeah.
This is time for a revolution. it's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting. You know, some very rich old white men are exerting their power to suppress our own people, thus creating a feeling of civil war in the streets, preparing the haters to hate.
I mean, yeah. Like, what has he said that's wrong, though?
Teaching them how to shoot. They're not even trained right. To kill.
I mean, we gotta knock this liberal nonsense on the head, though. I mean, the fucking killers amongst them so far have been people who not only are, like, 6 to 10 year veterans. One of them's a fucking firing range instructor, a firearms instructor. They know how to fucking shoot. The problem isn't that they don't know how to shoot, actually. The problem is that they do know how to shoot, and they do it.
This man, and I tell you what is the most important component of this is not that a celebrity is calling for revolution.
I mean, you got Molly Ringwald and Giancarlo Esposito. Hey, Adam, how you doing? Okay, what else? So, what is the important part, Tim? I mean, other than, you know...
It's that you can see it in his eyes. He doesn't know what this will mean.
Okay, let me just look at his eyes again. I mean... I don't see anything that says... I'm not sure what Tim is reading in his eyes. Maybe there's like some auras that he can read or something. Maybe Moonlord will help us out there. I mean, I don't see anything that says he doesn't know what he means.
Man, and I tell you what is the most important component of this is not that a celebrity is calling for revolution. It's that you can see it in his eyes. He doesn't know what this will mean. He doesn't know what this will mean. The
Well, like, I mean, and you do, Tim.
horrors you will experience are beyond your comprehension. Go talk to any real combat veteran. Go talk to one of these guys doing wet works in foreign countries.
Wet works. See, Tim's a real special ops guy, you see, because he talks about wet works. He pluralizes it like nobody does.
And talk to them about what happens when the system falls apart. Talk to them about in Egypt, when the military decided they could not keep a hand on the Muslim Brotherhood, so they showed up with AKs and started mowing people down, just killing them in the street. This guy
I mean, that's not a revolution, though. That's a military dictatorship, Tim. A military dictatorship that the U.S. still supports.
And he'll be sitting in Santa Monica, sipping his coffee, saying, I think the rich white, boom! And then half his face is blown off, and he's sitting there shaking. Can't hear anything with blood dripping from his mouth.
Exactly how his character in Breaking Bad got it. Spoiler alert.
Oh, wow. So, okay, so, yes, obviously, when there's a revolution, what that means is that it's going to be like Breaking Bad. Moonlord has shaved, and now he looks like fucking Evil Mirror Universe Weird Al Yankovic. It's disconcerting.
Adam,
you should have been here last night. We were looking at the gay incels of Florida with their high-level ideas about how, like, TERFs shouldn't be criticized.
At least from my perspective, some of his diagnosis is correct, or he's on the right track, in that there are groups of older, I don't know if they're old white men, whatever, there's groups of, I think, consider them bankers, that are...
He doesn't know if he'd consider them white men. He'd consider them bankers. I wonder what he could possibly mean by that.
Structuring our economy for a collapse and anticipating street fighting in the United States, and they're happy for it because they don't.
I mean, I will say, yeah, there is anticipation of street fighting, in the sense that this is why everybody's spending shitloads of money on the cops, because we've been in like 40. Wait a second, let me see. It's wow, like half a century of managed decline now as part of this wonderful neoliberal reboot that we had in '73. I mean, 73 wasn't. 73 was neoliberalism starting out in Chile, but 73 in the U.S. was the last year that non-managerial real wages actually weren't flatlining. or no, the first year that they started to flatline, which they've continued to do since then. So yeah, I mean, the entire ruling class kind of realizes that they're in for some shit if they don't have the repressive institutions that are up to the task. I mean, that's why the response to the uprising in 2020 was literally just, let's give cops all the money. Just give cops all the fucking money.
Like free speech and gun rights and property rights. They want a
Oh wait,
socialist
Moonlord's in favor of gun rights. Like did you hear about Alex Preddy? He was open carrying, like Philando Castile before him in Minnesota.
corporatocracy, and they want us to be corporate slaves. That's what corporate governance is.
The problem isn't corporatocracy; it's crony corporatocracy.
What ESG is. So he's kind of right about that, I think, but the whole blaming the U.S. government and ICE is not, I think that's where he's missing it.
I mean, what would the U.S. government have to do with what happens with the fucking the economy in the U.S.?
I mean, I just with this stuff, what does it matter? The worldview of these people is not going to change, and you're not going to convince them. You're not going to sit down for a cup of coffee and explain to Giancarlo Esposito why you don't want war, because he doesn't.
But you clearly are saying you do want war, though.
Doesn't know. If this guy knew, he would not be calling for it.
Doesn't know what? Oh, Tim is saying that if you were like a grizzled combat vet like Tim Pool, who was involved in, like, I guess he was once criticized for being a shitty skateboarder. I guess that counts as combat as far as he's concerned. If you knew what those eyes have seen, you would not be calling for a revolution.
And he's not going to believe you. The only thing that would ever change these people's minds is actual experience. But how do you give someone experience of what it's like to be in a war?
I mean, I would say that people in Minnesota are getting something of an experience of that. I would say that actually the far-right paramilitaries, the guys like Tim Pool, stand to the hilt, have been also giving people a taste of what the 30 Years' War in the north of Ireland was like, with state-aligned, cop-aligned paramilitary groups murdering marginalized communities in order to give the official forces deniability. I would say, actually, and I mean, black people in particular have a pretty good idea what that's like, because they're some of the ones who are, they're like the demographic that really gets the most of that shit. So, but Tim Pool,
these people.
Tim Pool has a podcast, so I mean, he must know stuff. People don't get to have a microphone if they don't know stuff.
Retail world where everything is just movies and social media and TikTok, and when you call for revolution, it's so interesting because the left always wants to call for violence, right? But after,
we always want to. That's the thing we like to do, is to call for violence.
Charlie Kirk was brutally murdered.
I mean, was that particularly brutal? It seems like that probably would have been pretty painless.
For a revival, not a revolution. We were not trying to fight against the people.
Well, it would have been silly for you to call for a revolution, because who are you going to have a revolution against? Yourselves? Of course you're not calling for a revolution. I mean, they did, however, for anyone not pretending to be sad about Charlie Kirk to be kicked out of their job and jailed and killed and stuff. They did do that.
Of Charlie Kirk, we wanted to bring more people to Christ, and that's what Turning Point tried to do. And it's just so interesting. I mean, do these people really want to live through a war?
What do you think is going on in the world, though?
I don't know what a war is.
Yeah. Tim Pool knows, though.
Look at what Larry Krasner said, though. He's a DA in Philly, literally saying we're going to hunt them down like ICE agents, like Nazis, and identify them.
That's why I said.
Well, they should be identified. In fact, it's actually kind of ridiculous that people who are, fucking civil servants of whatever kind cannot be identified. That they, people who are engaging with the public in a particularly violent way get to have anonymity. Yeah, I mean, the absolute fucking bare minimum that a normal person will demand in that situation is that we at least get to know the name of the people who are fucking terrorizing our streets. I mean, since when do they care? Wait, she's the Timcast booker. What, could they not get a guest on? That they have the booker on now? But, like, these motherfuckers love to dox anyone who shows up to protest fascists, but they're freaking out at the idea that ICE agents might actually, and CBP agents might actually have to be identified.
They want this to happen.
Yeah, people in positions of authority saying that kind of stuff give permission to people that are not in positions of authority.
They want this to happen.
And, I mean, I actually think it's the other way around in this case. I think the reason, in Philly in particular, I think the reason you have, like, the sheriff talking tough and Larry Krasner, who, saying the things that he's saying, is that they're hoping that will calm shit down. It's like when Jacob Fry was like, "Get the fuck out of Minneapolis, ICE," and then sent the Minneapolis PD to attack the people who were defending their communities against ICE and CBP. I mean, the idea is to try to calm people down by saying, look, there's people in authority who actually are from the same universe as you. It's just basic counterinsurgency stuff.
We've gone back and forth, Phil and I, quite a bit on there is no off-ramp. Right. And we are in a substantially worse position now than we were 6 months ago and 6 months before that. Is there any indication this is slowing down or is not going to escalate?
What makes you say it's a worse position, though, Tim? And who's we?
No, and we've been saying this for 3 years. Like, within the first 6 months...
They've been saying it's true. They've been saying the exact same shit for years and years and years.
So me coming on the show, we started talking about that.
Phil sat down the first day he was here and he went Civil War. And I was like...
Yeah, well, I mean, even before that, this is something that Tim has been talking about and willing into existence for a very long time. Like, I mean, you can go back before any of these jabronis were on there, back when it was still Weed Lord. Before he, like, fell out with Weed Lord and stole somebody's cat and shit. And they were already talking about it. Like, this is like one of Tim's little obsessions. It's his, to help give, I mean, what Phil, apparently, that sort of serial killer-y guy said, actually is a pretty accurate description of what people like Tim Pool are doing with their platforms, is trying to create a situation where the far-right pieces of shit who listen to them feel they have permission to go out and murder people, and we know that mass shooters listen to Tim Pool and take his advice.
Phil, slow down there. We don't say that on this show.
No, but we did, like, it was in, like, what, 2023 or whatever. We were like,
I mean, earlier than that, this has been a recurring theme for him.
Where's the off ramp? But how do we stop this? Because
I mean, maybe you could. I mean, as the far right who is creating the situation where millions of people are being terrorized and see everything just getting worse. Well, I mean, one thing that you guys could actually do is calm your motherfuckers down.
Only going to keep
that
escalating.
doesn't mean that there isn't one, though, because not being able to see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Well, the off-ramp, I'd imagine it includes... The way we often describe it is, you know what, let's do this. We had Tony on the show, Tony Ortiz, and he said he's in the nothing ever happens camp. My argument to him...
But things do happen.
...is that the people who think nothing ever happens have a fictionalized or condensed view of what history really is.
Yeah, as opposed to Tim Pool, who has a non-condensed and totally non-fictionalized view of history.
You read a history book.
That's, I mean, that's what that hat is for. It protects him from fictionalized and condensed views.
You'll read a single page explaining the entirety of World War II. Certainly overlooks the nuances of...
What history books have you read, Tim? I mean, there are multi-volume sets on World War II. There are hundreds of fucking books on different aspects of World War II.
Every year throughout the conflict, or the American Revolution for that matter. People...
Again, like, he's just telling us that he does not read. Like, the last time he read anything was in 8th grade.
And, like, I assure you, first and foremost, if you go to Times Square and ask someone when was the Declaration of Independence signed, they're going to be like, what's that? The next...
Oh, well, no, why don't you get out of your compound, go up to Times Square, and ask people. Do it live, don't cut it.
Next step you're going to get is people who say July 4th, 1776.
I mean, which is when it was signed. I mean, that's what you asked them. What? Now you're pissed off that they give you the right answer, or what?
And then only the smallest amount of people are going to say July 2nd, 1776, because they actually read it. And then you're...
Yeah, I mean, it is signed and dated July 4th.
You're going to ask people, when did the American Revolution start? And they're going to say 1776. First, people are going to say, I don't.
Like, well, what does that mean, though? That...
No. Then you're going to get the 1776. Then you're going to people say, well, we don't have a set year, but it was likely around late 1760s, in fact, into the 1770s.
1 out of a million people would say
or
that.
They'll exactly. Or they'll say the Battle of Lexington and Concord in 1775, a full...
Yeah, well, yeah, because that is when it is generally considered to have been, like... I mean, yes, conditions were moving in that direction for a while before that, but that is generally considered to be the first major battle.
Year before the Declaration was signed. They don't actually know. And my point here is, we are in...
Like, okay, so what is your point, though? Because, like, what exactly would they know if they had the exact chronology right on the date? Like, what would they know that would change their outlook on shit?
In the thick of it today. The American Revolutionary period was 20 years, and they were in the thick of it and didn't know what was going to happen and didn't think it was a war immediately. And we talk about the American Civil War. These people, you know, when they say things like nothing ever happens, they don't realize that it was always going to be grains of sand making a heap or snow.
I mean, yeah, I mean, nothing ever happens is a silly thing to say because, like, things do happen. I don't really believe that, and I don't believe anyone seriously thinks that. But then, I mean, Tim Pool and his friends, they're not serious people, so I don't think they seriously think anything. I think they very unseriously don't think.
Flakes in an avalanche. And so when, you know, these people say things like they want a revolution, that's when I'm looking at the market, I'm looking at the ticker being like, how do you reverse course on this?
Why are you asking the ticker that?
In which case, ultimately my point is, the off-ramp for the frogs in the pot.
Okay, what kind of pot is this that has an off-ramp? So we've got frogs in a pot, and there's also, like, I guess, like a motorway in there? There's an interstate in the pot? Why is there an interstate in the pot?
Is cranking the temperature up 10 degrees instantly.
Okay.
Because the argument is, these people who think nothing is happening are frogs sitting in a pot and the temperature is slowly rising so they don't notice.
Fun fact, frogs don't actually work this way. I mean, this entire metaphor does not work. Because that's not how frogs work.
I would argue it like this. If the temperature of the water is 70 degrees and it rises to 80, did something happen?
I mean, the temperature rose. That is a thing, and it happened. Yeah. He looks at the market ticker and asks whether there is an off-ramp in the frog pot. Like, somebody needs to just draw that nonsense.
The answer is yeah. The water's actually gone from lukewarm. It's actually kind of warm now. If it goes from 70 to 90, did something happen? Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, so what?
Yeah, you're getting pretty hot water. If it goes from 70 to 100...
90 is not very hot water, actually. I mean, I don't know, by frog standards, I don't know what their temperature tolerance is, but I can tell you as a baker, I actually have to get water to a certain temperature, hello Adria, in order to get the yeast dissolved and get all of that fermentation kicking off. And I can tell you, 80 degree, 90 degree water is not very hot. That's very comfortable, actually. Like, that's cozy water. You could sit in 90 degree water and just relax, and it would be wonderful. And now I want a bath, actually. But no, I mean, that is not, I don't know, maybe for frogs, they're cold-blooded. I mean, they don't have thermo-auto regulation, so maybe that's hot for them. I know somebody I can ask about frogs. But I don't think it's all that important right now. But for humans, that's not hot water. Like, you want hot water, you gotta get over 100. I mean, it isn't hot for us until it is hotter than our own internal temperature.
100, certainly something happened. The problem is, they're not calculating, it was 70 yesterday, it's 100 now. The people who think...
This is Tim Pool accidentally talking about climate change.
Nothing ever happens are saying, what do you mean? The temperature was 89 degrees.
I mean, this is like literally climate change deniers that he's talking about now. Yeah, nothing ever happens climate-wise. Yeah, it's like 20 degrees warmer than it was last year at the same time. Yeah, but who cares about last year?
Last week. It's only 90 now. Nothing ever happens. So how do you shock these people and wake them up? You crank the flame all the way to the top, so it goes from 89 degrees to 120, and they go, oh, holy crap, and they jump out. And my point is...
I mean, if you do that to a frog, the frog will probably die.
Shock and awe is likely the only thing to stop this, which is...
Wait, okay, so the only way to prevent a war is to, like, carpet bomb cities, is what he's saying? That's how you prevent a war, is you carpet bomb everything. Because I mean, if there's one thing we know about shock and awe, there was no war after that except for, like, what, 22 years of war after that?
Why I said the other day, Trump needs to stand down or suit up. You can't do half measures.
I like the statement. That is a cool statement. But...
yeah, I mean, that is literally all it is. It's like, it's the sort of bullshit that you'd see in a Marvel movie. Stand down or suit up.
That's the accelerationist take on things, which has some value, which is why people think of themselves as accelerationists.
Eccentric genius. Yeah, okay, eccentric I can kind of get.
Technically.
But you could also...
I haven't seen any proof that he knows anything.
Shake the pot without turning the temperature up, and that will...
That's the same point. That's shock and awe.
That will wake them up without...
And, like, this guy was just about, you don't know what war is. It's like, do you not know what fucking shock and awe is? Like, I believe Tim Pool is old enough that he would remember shock and awe. That was carpet bombing cities. Huge numbers of people were killed by that. How old is Tim Pool? Now I gotta know. Pool age. 39. Or, yeah. 39. He should know. I mean, he's sitting here, you don't know what war is like. What we really need in order to prevent a war is shock and awe. Goodbye, link spammer. We don't need link spam in order to prevent a war.
Turn the temperature up. It'll feel hotter because now there's friction.
Well, I mean, it will be hotter because if you turn the temperature up, it's literally hotter, though.
Regardless,
I see your point. Arts. That's where the sciences and arts, it shakes up the pot.
But we are in agreement. The point is, shock them. The people who are in the pot, if you move it gently from side to side, they're going to be like nothing's happening. If you jolt it, they're going to say earthquake and jump out. If you crank the temperature up, they're going to say, it's all of a sudden very hot, they're going to jump out. It's the half measures that are inching us towards catastrophe.
Oh, well, what's wild about this is that he doesn't see that his guy is actually doing the sort of shock and awe that he's talking about. He has suddenly cranked it up to, like, I'm not going to say cranked it up to 10, but, like, cranked it up to 8. And huge numbers of people are seeing these goon squads just going around doing wanton violence, occasionally murdering people in the streets, and their bosses just lying their asses off about stuff that we can all see because it's all filmed. I mean, we're already seeing, like, that is what people are responding to, actually, Tim. Like, maybe if he stopped doing that, maybe if he stopped with the fucking murdering of the people and the concentration camps and shit, maybe if the Democrats stopped enabling him to do that as well, then maybe people would calm down. Adam says, I knew a guy who lived in Portland, Oregon before moving to New Mexico. He's a climate change, he's a hoax person. So of course he didn't make a connection. He said that temps rose yearly when he was living in... Well, yes, yeah.
Now, that's why I said, again, Trump needs to stand down or suit up. He needs, needs to Insurrection Act, go into these places, send the National Guard out.
He's already done that shit.
Commandeer, like, we're taking over domestic law enforcement to stop the extremism.
To stop the extremism.
Because you need to wake people up to what's going on. There's no guarantee that works.
I mean...
So then the other option...
Yeah, well, yeah, it hasn't worked. It is actually... No, I got it. It sort of cut off in a weird place in that first comment. But, like, Tim, you're literally describing what's already been going on.
Is stop playing into leftist agitprop and giving them the photo ops they're asking for.
The photo ops that we're asking for, like, what is he, what?
With these half measures.
Yeah, in fact, I'd like to see them turn the temperature down by actually highlighting that they're releasing some of the non-violent criminals, if it's actually happening. And one of our guests...
Well, I mean, it isn't happening, in fact. I mean, that is literally not happening.
That increases it. You don't. People on the right are going to boil if you release these people. Right. That's right.
I mean, yeah, if people like Tim Pool decide to like freak people out over that, yeah, that'll happen. But they don't have to. You could just say, yeah, nothing happened, because the thing is, you could actually, like, release everybody from the concentration camps and just let them go home. And the only thing would happen is a lot of people's lives would improve and people's communities would be rebuilt.
The reason the temperature is going up is not because there's a collective effort to where people are agreeing on the left and right, hey, you want to make things worse? Yeah. It's that...
Well, I mean, very clearly some people are looking to make things worse, and Tim's one of them.
The left, when Tim Walz calls Trump on the phone and says, let's negotiate, the left protested him.
Well, yeah, because fuck that. The demands are very clear. Get these assholes out. Stop sending fucking goon squads into people's cities and release all the hostages.
What about peace through strength?
That's what
I'm saying. What about going in there full force with everybody you got?
Well, I mean, they're already fucking doing that.
Making a big scene and be scared.
Agree.
I mean, that's like literally what they're already doing, though.
Terrified. That's where I want to be.
That's what I'm saying. Trump,
she wants to be terrified. Hello, River-Rune.
Insurrection Act.
If it's going to work over there, it can work domestically.
I don't think
but it hasn't worked over there. Like, were you not here for, like, 2001 until now? It hasn't worked anywhere. Because the thing is, if you start, like, going around, you know, wantonly murdering people, eventually, like, people will defend themselves from that, and you're going to start eating rounds.
I'm saying you need people to realize, you need, first of all, Trump needs to assert the monopoly on violence and say, enough of this. You know, I rag on the libertarians because I don't understand what the benefit is to what's going on. Let this conflict just boil over and keep happening. It's bootlicking to want the riots to stop.
Yes, it is bootlicking, Tim. Yeah, we were just talking. I don't know if you were there for River Rune, but Tim Pool really does not like being called a bootlicker. He would prefer to be called the boot. He managed to find the less dignified thing to be than a bootlicker.
To want the windows to stop being smashed, people to stop...
What windows have been smashed? Like, what? Who gives a shit about... Even if... I haven't heard about windows being smashed, but... Well, no. Car windows smashed by ICE and CBP. Yeah, I think a lot of people would really like it if they stopped doing that.
Being killed? It is...
It's people to stop being killed. Motherfucker, when have you been against people getting killed?
This is my beef with the libertarians right now. A guy died. Pretty's dead. It should...
He didn't die. He was fucking murdered by the guys that you glaze.
...to happen. I believe he was radicalized. I believe he knew the consequences, and...
Wait, okay, so the idea is he knew that he was going to be gunned down, shot in the back, after being disarmed. And so, wait, so he knew that was going to happen, and he was, carrying a gun. If he knew that was going to happen, why wouldn't he have just used it then?
He went out there, and more people are going to do it. We can stop it right now. I tweeted, Trump should go to Minneapolis, and all of this stops.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there's one thing that'll calm everything down, it's if Trump personally goes to Minneapolis. Like, what fucking planet is this guy from?
And, it's hard to convey this over a tweet or an X post. Because people are like, what's Trump gonna do?
I mean, yeah, that is the question. What exactly? Like, everybody fucking hates him there. Most people hate him everywhere else, too.
When the president goes to a city, the city goes on lockdown.
Oh, well, yeah, but the thing is, usually, when a president goes to a city, there isn't a whole lot of resistance to that.
It's in effect an insurrection act.
So, I mean, at that point, you're just sort of daring people to respond forcefully, and, like...
If Trump invokes the Insurrection Act, he is making a declaration saying, I'm taking over law enforcement. That could be too hot. That could turn things up. Maybe it turns it up enough to shock people and make people back away.
But, I mean... You've been turning it up the whole time, and the response is that people are resisting because people don't want to see their neighbors getting dragged away and murdered. Like, this guy, it is so fascinating to get these looks into these reactionaries' heads, because it's like they have absolutely no concept of how anybody's minds work. Like, they have absolutely no concept. Like, the reason... I mean, I was talking about this yesterday, how you can watch, like, on social media, right-wingers responding to these people who are risking their lives in Minneapolis and other places in order to defend their neighbors from these goons. And they're like, why would anyone risk their lives for somebody else? They're not even getting paid. And it's like, yeah, you're a bunch of fucking cowards. Of course you don't understand that.
There's another play. Trump announces he will be visiting Minneapolis so that he can work with the governor and bring the temperature down. Secret Service, National Guard, federal police lock the whole city down.
Like, they're already trying to do that. I mean, without the added irritant of Trump being present.
And all of a sudden, there's no riots anymore.
There's no riots now. Like, what do you think a riot is, Tim?
It pushes out, you create security checkpoints, security zones, and simply by being there...
It is really amazing that he has learned so little after being in Occupy. It is just a reminder that Occupy has managed to sort of give us the best and worst of politics in the U.S. in the subsequent decade and a half.
Trump isn't saying, I'm crushing you. He's just literally crushing them and not giving them a narrative option.
Well, but there is a narrative option, namely come out and resist this asshole and his goon squads. And now you get to actually, the people who have been busting their asses and risking their lives in the streets, defending their communities, get a chance to actually say what they think of this guy? You think they're going to pass up that opportunity, do you, Tim?
If Trump invokes the Insurrection Act, the fear is they'll say, this proves he's a fascist. If Trump says...
is further proof actually needed?
I want to help Minnesota and calm things down.
But, who the fuck is gonna believe that, Tim? Why would anyone... do you realize how much credibility he doesn't have?
So I'll be visiting. Then they effectively lock the city down,
It's a
and there's no
fantastic
escalation.
And what's great about this tactic as well is that nobody would ever think to clip what he just said, where he says that this visit is a ruse in order to impose essentially martial law on the population. Nobody will clip that and share it and say, if he comes, we've all got to agree that we are not going to back down. We are going to make his life fucking hell. Well, nobody. It's not like he said this publicly on a fucking podcast with millions of viewers or anything.
It's an excellent tactic. That's what his advisors should be telling him in the boardroom right now. Probably they're watching this show and they're going to tell him. The only...
Oh wait, I'm sure they're watching fucking Tim Pool and they're actually, I say that and it's I can think of worse explanations for why they do the things that they do than that they're just literally watching Tim Pool.
Downside is now you said it publicly, so people will hear that, but they won't matter. So good job.
Yeah. Why would it not matter though? Why would the fact that people will hear it and prepare not matter?
That's what I say, and it shows tremendous strength from Trump.
No, it doesn't.
You can do diplomacy.
it
is there legitimately.
Trump can say, I am going to come down personally to try and help the community and bring the temperature down.
Who the fuck in Minneapolis is gonna be oh wow, I bet he's serious about that. Yes, he genocides people in Gaza. Yes, he is threatening to attack Iran and invade Cuba and invade Venezuela and everything, and he's been sending goon squads to murder us for the past several weeks here, but I'm sure that he's coming in good faith. Yeah, seriously, what the fuck do these people smoke?
Trump could even say, I am deeply troubled by the death of Alex Preddy and Renee.
Yeah, and who the fuck would believe him?
Good. These things should not happen.
But the only way why would anyone believe him when when there's no prosecution of the people who did it?
I am going to personally come to work with the mayor and the governor to make sure this stops.
The one thing that this would do is definitively discredit the mayor and the governor, which, Tim might think that was a good thing, but it wouldn't be a good thing for him.
Simply by showing up, they lock the city down.
Yeah, I think that's
and
actually...
it's a personal... Listen, it makes Trump look strong. Lisa doesn't like it. She wants the boot.
No, I think that all that does is say, oh, whenever you throw a violent temper tantrum, you get your way, and then it's...
But who threw the violent temper tantrum, though?
It's going to encourage everybody to do that.
How are they getting their way if Trump says I'm putting a boot down?
He's not putting a boot down. He's going in there and saying, you just said to say that, the Preddy thing was terrible or whatever. No, you can't give them... You can't
They're
even
going to
give
be
them...
mad either way.
Yeah,
sure they are, but...
You can't give them a win at all.
See, the fascinating thing here... First of all, I don't think anyone considers a visit from Trump to be a win. I think most people... If you had a competition and first prize was a visit from Trump, everybody would be throwing that shit.
To stop the agitprop overnight.
Yep. But how would that stop the agitprop, though? Do you even know what agitprop is, Tim?
You shut down their tactic.
What you do?
What is their tactic, Tim?
He already
no
said
response.
all that. He already said that, and we're pulling people out now. Homan says,
But they're not pulling people out. I mean, maybe he said that, but they're not. They have actually
people out, and that's
Yeah,
because
that's
they're
all
working with the
bad.
jails. Yeah, it's horrible. Like that's conceding.
Pulling the temperature down is good. I'll say that. Homan is toning the temperature down. He's trying to say, like, it shouldn't happen. We don't want anybody to die. I can respect that. Trump.
I mean, which is just a lie. I mean, if you don't want people to die, then you can't be in his line of work. His line of work necessarily involves killing people.
Should do it personally. It's not an issue. The point is,
I can see that, but...
if Trump invokes the Insurrection Act, they're going to fundraise $1 million off of it.
Wow, $1 million? That's a huge amount of money.
I understand that.
If Trump
shows up,
yeah,
there's
That's
nothing.
that's like how much a random white woman can fundraise if she gets filmed calling a little kid the N-word.
Fundraise off of.
Show up with what though? By
Just
himself?
him.
Just
Yes.
show up.
Nah.
No, well, I mean, he's not going
They're
to
gonna
go by
lock down the
himself.
highway.
I mean, by himself would be great. A true I mean, there we go. That would be a true show of strength. No Secret Service, no security, no cops, no motorcade. Just walk into the city on his own. That would be a true show of strength.
They're going to create checkpoints.
Yeah.
Secret Service and National Guard will be everywhere, and they can't say he's a fascist for doing it because it's literally just standard procedure.
Well, yeah, but they could say he's a fascist for doing it because it's a fucked up standard procedure, and as Tim is just saying, it's literally meant to be a way to supposedly stop community defense activities.
And he's not invoking anything.
And that's the kind of stuff that the military does. Like, when the military wants to take a location, they just go in with overwhelming force, and then they just sit
Well,
there.
he said by himself.
They just sit there. Well, I mean, it seems like when they just sit there, though, other people show up, and they're generally a little bit more mobile.
Not overwhelming force. I want to
No.
The president's not going to go by himself.
When the president goes
Lisa.
somewhere,
You work
They
on
announce-
Capitol, you know this.
But no, I'm not talking about like a Secret Service. I'm talking about when you say overwhelming force. I want like every trained ICE officer who's trained on removals to be in there and get out.
Oh, wait, okay, so you're saying pull them all out of, I mean, because they're in Maine, they're in LA, and they're in, God, there's some, I mean, other than that, obviously they're in Minneapolis. So the idea is pull them out, have all 6,000 of them, because that's all there is, in Minneapolis. So you're doubling the force. You're having 100% of ICE's goon squads in Minneapolis. And what is this supposed to achieve? You've already got 50% of them there.
and that's a potentiality, which I said is Insurrection Act. The concern with that
No,
is
that isn't that it literally is not the Insurrection Act. You don't know what that is.
the possibility of blowback.
No, you don't have to do the insurrection.
That's not what blowback is.
Act to do it. You just have to take all the ICE agents and ramp up the deportations. You can have
There's
Trump
not
there or
enough
not.
ICE agents.
I mean, he's not wrong about that.
Take the ones that are doing all the stuff in Florida and Texas. You can halt
So
them for
you
now.
want to
Send
shut down the functional, the ICE operations that are working?
I mean, hey, I like what she's saying. Like, send them all to get fucking harassed and screamed at and humiliated in Minneapolis. Maybe they'll all quit at once.
You go in and you swarm. You get it done real quick. Get everybody out of there as soon as possible. You go to the places that aren't bothering you, and then it's all over.
No, I think that's a half measure, and that's the problem.
I mean, like, they're already fucking swarming, though. This is like, I mean, this reminds me of listening to Israel talk about their latest weird trick that they're going to use to totally defeat the Qassam brigades. And it's like, and the whole thing is just, we're going to do the shit that we've been doing where we send the military in and they get murked and then they leave again. Like, this is really, it is Israeli grade strategic thought.
Surged 2,000 additional feds into Minnesota, and it made things worse. It's either Insurrection Act, You go all the way or you do nothing. And the point I'm making about Trump just going there is that it locks the city down. It shuts down their agitprop.
But, I mean, they're already trying to lock the city down with these assholes. And, like, he keeps on using the word agitprop, and I do not think it means what he thinks it means. Because agitprop, that doesn't, like, having Trump in town isn't going to shut down agitation and propaganda.
They have no opportunity for propaganda.
Yeah, why wouldn't people have an opportunity?
Propaganda. They have no opportunity for fundraising.
Why wouldn't they have an opportunity for fundraising? Like, Trump has gone to places and been protested before. In fact, it's often been very humiliating for him. There was one particularly remarkable time when he actually ran away from his motorcade in Chicago, like 10 years ago.
They can't call Trump a fascist. Trump just...
Why can't we call Trump a fascist?
Says, what do you mean? I came to try and help the mayor.
Yeah, and nobody will fucking believe... What is this world he lives in? Where if Trump says something that's supposed to sound benign, it would actually work.
And there's no Trump beat anybody. There's no opportunity for them to do it. Yeah, it cuts them off at the shin.
The president,
I believe it's at the knee, but so the idea is that everybody will just sort of agree not to defend their communities if Trump's coming to town, because everybody respects Trump in Minneapolis.
He doesn't need a reason to visit a city. Like, it's not like the president needs to clear.
I'm not opposed to him going there. I just want. I don't want to give them an inch. I don't want to. I don't even want to take the rhetoric down to like we did anything wrong.
But listen, you got to be careful not to be Wile E. Coyote running.
Yeah, these guys, they're all Wile E. The thing is, they're all Wile E. Coyote.
Off the cliff.
Wile E. Coyote.
Why do we have to behave when they don't play by the rules?
When have you ever behaved?
I'm not saying behave. I'm saying stop buying into their agitprop.
It's not about the agitprop. I don't care about their agitprop.
They want the half measure.
No, I mean, what we want is for ICE to get off the streets, out of people's communities, and for there to be no deportations.
Yeah,
they want the half measure. Don't do a half measure.
I don't want to do a half measure. I want the whole...
Insurrection Act.
I mean, what I love is that these people... this reminds me of when I watch, like, chess educational content, and it'll be like, Levy, Gotham GM... I mean, not Gotham. Gotham Chess, not Gotham GM. He isn't a GM yet. And one of the things that keeps on coming up, and you'll, like, Ben Feingold will often get really snide on this sort of thing, because you'll be like, these, like, sort of rookie players, these amateurs will be like, they don't give any thought to what the opponent's move is. They just sort of assume that if they've come up with a sequence of moves, that therefore it has to work, because if their opponent did something that made it not work, that would mean that their idea wasn't good. Like, that is the level of strategic thinking we're seeing here. It's like, well, you know, if I just play on move 2, I just play Queen G4. I'm not actually sure that you can get to the queen to G4 and move 2. Then, you know, it's going to be checkmate on the next move, because there's nothing that they will do to stop it. There are things they can do, but they won't, because then it would make me very sad, because I had a good idea, and that would mean I had a bad idea.
I guess, sure.
Yeah, Trump needs to assume control of local law enforcement,
I want
put
the answer
National Guard on every street corner, and say, no more rioting.
Yes, that's what I would like.
The concern,
and we will do this in every city if we have to, if you keep behaving this way.
Indeed, you can't, though. That's the problem. There's not enough people.
We should go back to requiring young men to serve.
Well, yeah. I mean, if there's one thing that would absolutely calm shit down, it's if Donald Trump were to impose the draft explicitly in order to have cannon fodder for these people to attack their own cities, in order to deport their neighbors. I'm sure that would really... That's a wonderful idea. That would totally calm shit down. These people.
That doesn't work because they get angry, but there's what, 30...
You think nobody's going to get angry if Trump comes to Minneapolis and tries to play some bullshit line about how he just wants to, just wants to get along?
1,000 feds. So how do you occupy every single city? You can't.
I mean...
So Trump's got it...
I mean, he's right there. That is exactly the problem. You have to do it a couple at a time. And the thing is that people are getting better at responding to this stuff from one city to the next. Everybody's learning from Minneapolis right now. The next places that they go are going to be places where, the goon squads are going to be fucking, shattered. They're going to be absolutely knocked down because they haven't been getting a good night's sleep. Their self-esteem is totally in the shitter. I mean, it turns out there have been repeated leaks, and it really does get to them that everybody fucking hates them. It gets to them that they can't get served in restaurants, that they can't go anywhere for a piss. It really gets to them, and they've been dealing with this for weeks, and then they're going to show up someplace else where people have not spent the past several weeks, in low-intensity conflict with these death squads. People have had time to just kind of watch and learn, and they are going to be fresh. And these guys are going to be fucking knackered.
Trump's got a finite amount of pieces on the board, and clearly the surging 2,000 additional feds did not work. So there's a few options. And Trump took the half-measure approach once again, which I think is going to be a net negative. Thanks for checking out this...
Well, that was impressive. Now, Bridget Empire, one of my new favorites on YouTube, has a video, and I want to just look at a little bit of it. It looks really good, and I'm going to drop the link in chat. It kind of mentioned it sort of obliquely. It's called Tim Pool Ice Bootlicker in Denial. And I just thought we'd have a little look at it because Bridget Empire gives good YouTube.
If you're one of these people, let me help you out.
Yeah, exactly. Every time they go from one city to the next, they're going to be more exhausted. Their morale is going to be worse. They're going to be wanting to just go home that much more. And just someplace where nobody knows what they do for a living, where they can maybe have a fucking meal in peace. And they're going to show up in, Boston or, New York or something like that. And everybody's going to be just ready for them. So, okay, let's check this out.
When these people come out and go, Tim's a bootlicker for defending us, I'm like, no, you misunderstand.
Oh, great choice of music.
It's my boots. It's mine. I voted for them. I'm wearing the boot. I'm stomping on the ground. I am not the bootlicker. I am the boot.
A lot of people on the internet don't seem to understand what a bootlicker is.
For the people yelling bootlicker, that's that's just it's gay. You're like.
If you...
well, yes, obviously they're just saying that people are gay for boots. Apparently,
if you're one of those people, let me help you out. A bootlicker is, if you're being polite, a servile person, someone with peasant brain, if you will, and I will. Yes, my lord, take my grain and steal my cattle, kidnap my children, feed your private army, whip me till I'm raw. I truly deserve it.
Half of what makes her channel so good is her voices. She does the most amazing fucking Donald Trump impression ever.
I love the way you have pressed me, sire, and frankly, I think you should have pressed me harder. Exploit me more, and push my body and mind so hard I have a stroke. It's inherently degrading to be a bootlicker. There are brown nosers, and there are toadies, and they are undignified, to say the least. But to be a bootlicker, you have to degrade yourself before those in power.
I am probably the president's #1 fan.
Yeah, Nikki Farage is
someone who would do anything like a lapdog, to please somebody in the chain of command, in the words of dictionary.com. Someone like, well, Tim Pool.
So when I see DHS, ICE, and they go out, and they're armed, and they're putting down these protesters, and then people
putting them down.
I mean, say you're licking their boot. I'll bet you misunderstand. I hired the boot. I'm paying their bills.
Wow, holy shit, Tim Pool pays tax. He's a fucking taxpayer. That's why he's not a bootlicker, because he pays tax. Because if you pay tax, like, I mean, like Tim Pool does, that means you actually control ICE, and you can decide whether they're fired or not. It would be weird if lots of other people... It would be weird if basically everybody paid tax. I mean, except for the people who give Tim Pool his money, they probably don't.
And clapping for them. So cry more about it, but your lies and manipulations ain't playing with me at all, because I gotta tell you...
he's got lies and manipulations of his own.
I honestly don't even care.
If you're an apologist for ICE, especially what they've done in Minneapolis, you are a bootlicker. If you cheer at state repression, you are a bootlicker. If you're any of the conservative influencers that have made it their business to defend all the awful nonsense that's been happening lately, congratulations, you're a bootlicker.
Okay, gonna just skip ahead here.
You're the one saying you're coming in and enforcing laws we didn't vote for. Well, I got bad news for you. The American people voted for the Republican Party in the House, the Senate.
I mean, no, they didn't.
Presidency, and they got the Supreme Court. That means it's the will of the people and...
I mean, which people, though?
Democracy. That we enforce our immigration law. I'm not gonna sit here and say that children should get wrapped up and abused or anything stupid like that.
Well, I mean, you are, though.
Your stories are fake, and they're not happening.
Okay, he's not saying that those things should happen because he denies them. That's cute.
Mistakes are made, those are bad, we'll figure that out. But
we'll
the margin
figure
of
that
error
out.
is always going to exist, and we are going to do are bad, we'll figure that out. But the margin of error is always going to exist.
I mean, unless you just stop deporting people. Hey, Lyric.
And we are going to do what our laws say. And these laws were not written by me, nor are they written by the current Congress. Our immigration laws...
Yeah, and they suck.
Laws were written 30 plus years ago.
I mean, 1996, actually. The laws that make this, that make these kinds of mass deportations possible were actually, well, they're coming up on 30 years.
50 years ago, I only ask as a voter, and I know most of you watching, that we have those laws upheld. So when I see DHS, ICE, and they go out, and they're armed, and they're putting down these protesters, and...
Okay.
Those who blessedly don't recognize this man gleefully cheering on the worst successes of Trump's own personal Gestapo, and in fact, in this video, complaining that Trump isn't going far enough, and that more people must die for...
Oh, so that is the same video that I was watching then.
Glory of the regime. This is Tim Pool, originally making his name during Occupy Wall Street. In the aftermath, he quickly became a far-right propagandist. While you may have seen his face doing the round because he never takes his beanie off, even when...
I mean, it's fascinating how you used to actually see him go places. Now you don't see him go anywhere.
He's wearing a suit. He is most famous for taking millions of dollars from the Russian government to make propaganda like this.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress...
Like, I mean...
Again, one of the...
The enemy?
Greatest enemies of our nation right now is...
One of the greatest enemies of our nation, like... I mean... That... How do you figure?
Ukraine.
When he's not taking money from foreign autocrats, he's cheering on domestic autocrats via his extremely creatively named podcast, Timcast, I'm making the most mid-emo music since the days
The
of
most
all time.
midi.
I'm low on Yumi at 6. Also, his family famously hates him, and have made it publicly known that they disagree with him and think he should shut the hell up.
Well, I mean...
Do you know whose family hasn't publicly denounced them? Yet, it's me, Bridget Empire, science and culture correspondent for the Daily Telegraph, the only newspaper in Britain printed entirely by boot. Our printing press broke back during the war, and well, rationing being what it was, we had to make do. That's actually where the last of Dan's good skin went. Way to take one for the team.
I'm gonna just skip around a little bit. Because I want to watch this whole thing. I haven't actually seen the whole thing yet either. I'm gonna switch over. We've got about 15 minutes to go. Gonna look at Asgold.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, by
Aspen
the way,
Gold.
they did do the big press conference with this. I guess I should probably watch this.
Look, I've been giving talking points and...
God, I mean, fucking swaying and slurring. He always seems shit-faced.
I don't like reading speeches, never have. But
I can't read.
my chief of staff did put some stuff down here in writing just to make sure I don't miss anything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be reading a little bit. and then we'll
Jesus Christ, like, shut the fuck up.
open up for questions. I've been on the ground less than 3 full days. I got in here on Monday. President of the United States called me Monday morning and asked me to deploy here.
Like, they brought in the main guy.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the main guy. That should be embarrassing.
He's always been the main guy.
Like, always been what? Wait, he's always been the main guy. Well, what the fuck does that even mean?
Looks exhausted? Yeah.
But we've made a lot of progress. A lot of progress.
Let's go. Yeah, the
few
boss. Yes, the last boss.
Man, I mean, he just likes to suck off powerful old white dudes.
Marcos Charles, he's running ICE operations here. There you go. Rodney Scott, Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, standing here beside me.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, those motherfuckers need to be abolished too.
I'm Homeland Borders Czar for President Trump. I'm here on behalf of the President, along with U.S. Commissioners, Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Rodney Scott, and Marcos Charles, who's leading the enforcement effort here right now.
Man.
I've been on the ground since Monday.
I mean, I would imagine you've kind of been on the ground always.
Mm-hmm. To regain...
Oh, well, that rates an mm-hmm.
Administration, well, I'll remember, more than 10 million...
Like, that's a very coquettish pose there that, the mold man prophecies down there in the bottom left corner is striking.
Illegal
Like, I
aliens
mean, somebody
enter this
needs to give him a little hand fan.
nation. Many were national security threats, public safety threats. We can't remember we're 2 million known gotaways.
2 million?
2 million people who paid more to get away.
Holy fuck.
Why? That should scare the hell out of everybody.
Wait, what the... I literally cannot understand a word this man is saying.
Really.
Yep.
During the past administration, well, I'll remember, more than 10 million illegal aliens entered this nation. Many
I mean, that's not actually true.
were national security threats, public safety threats.
I mean, like, literally none of this is true. I mean, in fact, the reality is Trump still isn't deporting as many people as Biden.
We can't remember we're 2 million known gotaways.
2 million?
2 million
2 million non-God waste.
people who paid more to get away.
Holy fuck.
Why?
I mean, yeah, this is complete bullshit.
That should scare the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
President Trump promised American people, including the residents of Minnesota.
Well, I mean, including the residents of Minnesota. Well, it seems like the residents of Minnesota didn't want the promise.
That he would work to ensure our communities are safe.
Well,
And with that, This administration is absolutely focused on identifying removal aliens that pose a public safety threat and national security
On the ground or above the ground. Nice callback.
threats. And the numbers prove it. The data proves it. In the past few days, I've met
Anybody who bought into that bullshit about how illegal aliens don't increase the amount of crime, like
I mean,
feel like those.
it's literally not true. Who bought into that bullshit? By which he means facts.
Those are the kind of people that need to check themselves into a mental institution. You gotta really have a. You gotta.
I mean, you gotta have like an obsession with looking at facts and realize that non-citizens, whether they have legal status or not, are actually way less likely to commit crimes, as it turns out, and nobody seriously denies that.
Somebody look into your situation.
Governor Waltz, Attorney General Ellison, Mayor Fry,
Yeah.
numerous police chiefs and sheriffs, and I have more to meet. I'll also be continuing with Minnesota. I didn't expect to.
This is actually so reasonable. Yeah, this is great.
Come to
Great.
What the fuck's up with his eyes?
So for photo ops or headlines, you haven't seen me. I came here to.
I mean, the fact, it's already kind of disgraceful that they would even meet with him. I mean, there's nothing that actually requires them to meet with him. They could just sort of they could just stand him up.
Seek solutions, and that's what we're going to do.
I said mold man, not mole man. Moles are cute. He is just talking mold.
Sent the last boss.
Like J.K. Rowling.
We've come a long way, and we got some good wins for the people of Minnesota, I think.
He's got good wins for the people. He's gonna fart on them.
And for the administration, and for the safety security of this city. One thing we did agree on, though, everybody I talked to agreed on, was that community safety is paramount.
Yeah.
One thing we all agreed on was U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement is a legitimate law enforcement agency.
Yeah. It's as legitimate as any law enforcement agency, but of course none of them are legitimate. So
That has a duty to enforce the laws enacted by Congress and keep this community safe.
those two things are not compatible.
Man, so it's almost like they actually are law enforcement, and that bald retard that was talking shit was totally wrong. He's just
What the? Who is he talking about?
mad. Man, how about that?
Like I've said many times for last several years,
Damn.
even before this administration,
Well,
jurisdictions
clown, I know.
that refuse to cooperate with federal immigration authorities are sanctuaries for criminals.
I mean, no. I mean, he is just straight up lying here, of course. But it's a popular lie. It is a very popular lie. It has fueled bipartisan immigration policy for decades.
Sanctuary cities should be illegal.
And endangers the
Ridiculous.
residents of the community.
I mean, it seems like the people in the community disagree with you, though, dog.
Officials being on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
What we did agree upon,
I mean, the fact anyone who finds Askold in agreement with them on anything, anyone who's like being applauded by Askold, really ought to have a long think.
is not to release public safety arrests back in the community when they could be lawfully transferred to ICE.
I mean, the problem is the public safety risks are actually being paid by ICE and CBP.
That's honestly all they needed. That's the biggest W. If they are willing to just send these fucking people as soon as they get arrested, to send them back to the fucking government.
But, I mean, that's not who they're going for. I mean...
That's it.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Like, that isn't who they've been going after. They've just been going after, like, random people.
Yep. There it is.
I mean, yeah, it's disgraceful that that has been agreed to, assuming Homan isn't lying. But I mean, it seems like I don't think he'd lie about this. He lies about plenty of other things, but this seems like something he wouldn't lie about to me. I could be wrong about that, but
I'm fucking solved.
I'll speak more about that.
They sent the Punisher? They did.
I will.
These motherfuckers still have not read the Punisher comic. I mean, I haven't either, but I've read about it.
Highlight.
Yeah, exactly. Immigrants are fucking part of the community. And, like, it's the communities themselves saying it. So, like, fuck off, Tom Homan and Askold.
That the Minnesota State Prison System, under the Department of Corrections, have been honoring ICE detainers.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And we appreciate that important collaboration, and we're going to expand it.
I mean, that's a good word there to be using, collaboration.
That was easy.
That decision has made Minnesota safer.
I was really
No, it hasn't.
Not only for residents of Minnesota, but the men and women law enforcement.
I mean, no place should be safe for them, though.
Not just ICE, all law enforcement.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. No law enforcement should be.
Rather than arresting the same public safety threat, significant public safety threat over and over again.
Right. Okay, it is time to wrap up, but before I go, I did want to mention, first of all, the Queer Communist Manifesto Translation Project, fully funded, thanks to everyone who contributed. Second of all, I don't know, there were two interesting reveals from the Epstein files yesterday. One is that, you know, politically incorrect on 4chan, like the troll farm, the Nazi troll farm to end all troll farms, that has been the incubator of all of this shit we're looking at here. It turns out that horrible troll farm was created immediately following a one-on-one chat with Jeffrey Epstein. And the other thing is, Elon Musk is in the files in the most embarrassing way possible. Because he's in the files begging for a chance to go to the island and getting completely blown off by Jeffrey Epstein. And I just thought I'd leave you with that. Motherfuckers are just so cringe. Actually, the Constitution does have the word citizen in it. I mean, the 14th Amendment in particular uses the word citizen more than once. But it is worth noting that the Constitution doesn't say a damn thing about deportations, and the people who wrote it were at best ambivalent about whether that was something that should happen. And indeed, for nearly a century afterwards, there were no immigration restrictions in the U.S. So there's that. Now, have a good night, and I will see you next week. Yeah, he wanted it and was too cringe to be allowed on fucking Epstein's Island. So have a good night, and I'll see you on Friday at 11:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. I'm looking